Hey guys, welcome in my channel. This is the first video in my channel. I hope you support me if you like this video. And, I want to say Happy Eid to all the Muslims who watch me, and to all the Muslims of the world. In today's video, we will talk about the SCP organization, the most dangerous organization in the world. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let's get started. The Secure, Contain, Protect Organization, which is known briefly as the SCP organization, this group or organization has its main goal, as they say, is to arrest any abnormal creature, and there is no government agency or institution that controls the orientations of this organization. And therefore it enjoys complete independence from any party for a specific government organization. The SCP organization happened to it just as it happened to the Creepypasta, which is the most famous website on the internet for publishing supernatural stories, horror stories, and metaphysical creatures, as the SCP story began to spread widely on the internet, and this spread culminated in the launch of the official website of the organization on the web a year ago 2008. This site aims to collect and document the main goal of SCP, which is to protect and contain both supernatural or even terrifying things, as well as supernatural phenomena, and keep them away from humanity, whether they pose a threat to humanity or not. And the next danger of the organization is after the containment of the supernatural thing or entity, serious and daily experiments are carried out in secret places belonging to the organization. The site is full of hundreds of entities, creatures and supernatural phenomena that have been entered to the organization, or added by another party with accurate descriptions of those entities. SCP-173 was one of the first entities studied by SCP. There are now more than 5,000 entities and articles on the organization's website, and it is said that it is still only now the discovery and containment of obscure new entities. SCP has inspired a lot of authors, musicians, filmmakers and even theatrical performances, as it had a direct and clear impact. For example, the SCP organization had a clear influence in the book series The Southern Reach trilogy by Jeff Vandermeer, and many films were produced about this organization. And since we mentioned the organization, let us mention the most famous creatures that the organization claimed to have captured. The creature SCP-1471. In fact, this entity is a free mobile app with a capacity of 9.8 megabytes called Malware 1.0.0. No one has come out until today to admit to blasting it as a developer of SCP-1471, as this malicious application can somehow bypass the approval process for the application to move and has the ability to install on the phone without your consent. And the most dangerous thing is that you can never remove it and delete it from your phone, and there is no icon in the phone. After installation, SCP-1471 will start sending strange pictures through text messages every 3 to 6 hours. These images contain the entity SCP-1471-A, and its body looks like a large human body with a dog-like skull and black hair. During the first 24 hours after installing SCP-1471, the mobile device will receive images captured in locations usually frequented by the owner of the phone. 48 hours later, the owner of the phone will receive pictures taken at locations the individual visited recently. And after 72 hours, it will receive simultaneous photos at the same time. After a while, the pictures increase, and the owner of the phone sees them in every file he opens, then begins to see this creature with him at home in dark corners, then he sees it in the mirror, then begins to communicate with the owner of the phone. The solution to not seeing this creature is not to see the images that come to the phone before 90 hours have passed. SCP-173 is the most well-known SCP seized entity. SCP-173 is usually the first thing most people link to SCP website and is the most popular organism associated with the organization. This frightening-looking creature is a tall, white creature with a big head and big eyes with sharp teeth that brings nightmares, and is similar to the Weeping Angels in Doctor Who's series, SCP-173. If you encounter him directly, you must continue to stare at his eyes directly without blinking except to be far enough away to be able to escape. But if you blink your eyes from a short distance or turn around, he will pounce on you and break your neck and kill you and everyone with you in seconds. The origins of this creature are unknown to the organization itself, and it appears that the experiments conducted on SCP only show that its goal is to eliminate humans wherever they are, without any other apparent motives or desires. Entity SCP-096, or as it is called Shy Man. This terrifying creature is also classified under the category Euclid, a human-like creature about 2.38 meters high. They call him the mentally retarded cousin of Slenderman, due to some similarities between him and Slenderman. SCP-096 is a frightening and terrifying creature with a large mouth full of teeth as if it were the teeth of a dinosaur in the movie Jurassic Park, and it has sharp claws, and the most strange thing is that it is a completely nude being. SCP-096. The organization's tests and analyses have shown that it lacks natural muscle mass, so it is very thin. His arms are abnormal and disproportionate, with hands about 1.5 meters long. His skin is completely devoid of any color or hair, so he is completely bald. Also, tests showed that the body of this organism lacks a large amount of blood. For this reason, its skin has no color. His appearance is as if it were one of the creatures that haunt us in nightmares. SCP-096 is basically the exact opposite of SCP-173. It hates anyone looking at it or stare at it for so long that it is called the Shy Man. If someone looks at him or sees his face, whether directly or indirectly, or even through a picture, he suffers a panic attack and confusion and covers his face with his hands like a shy person and begins to scream harshly. And if you close your eyes and do not look, he will remain completely fixed and never move from his place. If you do the opposite, you will run behind you at a crazy speed and cut you to pieces, just as the Tiki Tiki legend does. The entity SCP-106 is among the most dangerous seizures by SCP. He is a frightening creature in the form of an elderly person, a rotten creature whose body appears to decompose while alive is a living dead. He shares with the being before him, SCP-096, in being lean and weak in body. SCP-106 is a creature that does not move very much, as the organization says, and may remain motionless in one place for several days in a row, waiting for the prey that it will pounce on, and it can also hang upside down for days, waiting for the prey. What the organization said in its explanation of how it hunted its prey is that it depends on touching the prey that it attacks, which causes it to have a physical collapse and decomposition while it is alive, and the erosion and decomposition continues for 6 hours after contact. It is as if it is digesting the prey while it is alive. From its amazing ability, according to what the organization said after a lot of experiments and research, that the SCP-10 object is able to penetrate solid objects, leaving a trace of an acid in the same place that it penetrated. It can also hide inside solids, inserting what is assumed to be a form of the pocket dimension. SCP-106 can then exit from this dimension from any point attached to the first entry point, such as a wormhole. And this was the video. I hope you like it. By the way, I'll put full episodes on SCP creatures if you like. Okay, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye.